What's going on, family? Welcome to a new episode of the Black Independent. This is not going to be too long video, but just had to bring up and discuss the issue of the incompetent Dr. Ben Carson, better known as Dr. Ben COONson. I mean, this guy has he's a big disappointment. He really has messed up his legacy, instead of going down in history as a notable neurosurgeon, a notable black neurosurgeon, he's going to go down in history as a sellout, a lame, a house negro. You know what I mean? A weak ass house negro. That's what he's gonna go down in history as. He really just messed up his legacy, man. I remember when he was running for president, he started running on that stupid white racist talking line, trying to be like anti-Muslim and all that stuff like that. He tried to get on the anti-immigrant bandwagon thing. He just became a lame. And he looked weak. He looked, when he was running for president, he looked weak. He didn't exhibit strength. You know what I'm saying? He just looked weak, sad and weak. And now he took a position, as we all know, in Trump's cabinet with HUD, and he's just been he's been looking like a fool the whole time. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing, bro. Like, Dr. Ben, you should have never took this job. You should have never took this position, man. And clearly now we see that thank God that you didn't get elected as president, because look how incompetent you look now. Look how weak you look. Look how foolish you look. Look how silly you look, man. The way you talk, the way you operate, you don't even have you don't even seem presidential. And now you took this position and you don't know, this is not your lane. You should have just stayed in the lane of you retired. But you should have let that be what it was. You just go down in history as a notable neurosurgeon, because you're out of your element, bro. You're out of your league in this field. You don't know what the hell you're doing. I mean, everybody. I mean, wow. I mean, what more can we say? Let's just take a look at with this lame ass fool, his performance at the congressional hearing, man. It's sad, bro, sad. Take a listen. Take a listen to this lame ass idiot.
The organization?
Owned, real estate owned. That's what happens when a property goes to foreclosure. We call it an REO.
Let's take it back.
And FHA loans have.
Let's take it back to the top. Here we go. By the way, we're using this under the Fair Use Act, which allows you to use material from others. If you're making a commentary about it or for educational purpose. In this case, we're making a commentary about it. So let's take a look and a listen. Lame ass dude, yo. Ooh, incompetent.
Do you know what an REO is?
An Oreo?
No, not an Oreo. An REO. REO.
Real estate?
What's the O stand for?
E organization?
Owned, real estate owned. That's what happens when a property goes to foreclosure. We call it an REO. And FHA loans have much higher REOs. That is, they go to foreclosure rather than to loss mitigation or to non-foreclosure alternatives like short sales than comparable loans at the GSEs. So I'd like to know why we're having more foreclosures that end in people losing their homes with stains to their credit and disruption to their communities and their neighborhoods at FHA than we are at the GSEs.
I would be extremely happy if you'd like to have you work with the people who do that.
Well, Mr. Carson, that was my day job before I came to Congress. So now it's my job to ask you to work with the people.
I mean, dude is like a complete lame. And then, we had the other one. He was being questioned. Here's the other one. Here's the other questioning that they had with him. And dude is just like, Yo,
Reclaiming my time.
You don't get to do that.
The time belongs to the gentle lady.
Secretary Carson and I have waited a long time for this moment, but the residents of my district, the 7th Congressional in Massachusetts, have been waiting far longer for your agency to do its job. Mr. Secretary, your pioneering work in pediatric neurology is historic, and it is something to be commended. And so it pains me that your gifted hands and mind are doing the bidding and carrying the water of what I believe to be one of the most morally bankrupt presidents in our nation's history. Increasing rents, evicting families. Today, you are not here as a doctor or even as our Surgeon General, which I think might be better suited for your talents, but as the official tasked with leading the agency overseeing our nation's crumbling housing stock. And for that, I do believe you are unqualified. But again, given your medical background, perhaps you could weigh in on the health consequences of failing to invest in safe housing. Mr. Secretary, since I am short on time here, yes or no, is stable and safe housing a social determinant of health?
Sounds like you have not been here and heard most of my testimony.
Please just answer the question, reclaiming my time. Yes or no, is stable and safe housing a social determinant of health?
There is no question that housing is an important part of health.
Yes or no?
No question that it's a part of health.
Yes or no? If left unaddressed, do you believe the substandard public housing conditions pose a risk to tenants' physical, mental, and emotional health? If left unaddressed.
Yes or no? Can you ask me some questions yourself?
You don't get to
Stop
dictate what
reading
my
this
line
other
of
stuff.
questioning is. Reclaiming my time. You're a very smart
You can
man,
reclaim
so
it
you
all you
understand the question. Please answer it. Yes or no, if left unaddressed, which I believe they are unaddressed because this budget does not reflect the need, do you believe the substandard public housing conditions pose a risk to tenants' physical, mental, and emotional health?
You already know the answer to that.
Yes or no?
You know the answer.
Yes or no? I know the answer. Do you know the answer? Yes or no?
Reclaiming my time.
You don't get to do that.
The time belongs to the gentle lady.
Colleagues across the aisle earlier were critical of the passion and even the outrage that we've expressed on this side of the aisle. I'd make no apologies for that. This matter is very, very personal. Let me be clear, housing is a fundamental human right, and the displacement of families should be regarded as the public health crisis that it is. The evidence is clear that if we do not invest the necessary funds today, we will pay the price in people's health tomorrow. And what is this administration's response? Cuts. Cuts to crucial funding like the Public Housing Operating Fund and the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, Section 202 housing for elderly and Section 811, housing for persons with disabilities, and even the complete elimination of the Public Housing Capital Fund. These policies are devoid of empathy and humanity, and you've been talking in the abstract, but I want to get specific. There's a Miss Northcross, a mother and a grandmother living in Brighton in my district. She's raised her children and now cares for her grandchildren in property with thick mold on the walls. Her son was recently hospitalized, look at the pictures here, because of bone tumors in his arm and leg. He needs surgery to save and improve his quality of life, but he won't get it because the family must have a sanitary, stable housing condition first. Their actual home literally poses a risk of post-op injury and infection. Her question to you is, what do they become? When you raise children in these conditions, what can they become? So yes or no? Do Miss Norcross and her family deserve to live in these conditions because they are poor?
If you've listened to any...
Yes or no, do
that
they
I have
deserve
to
to live in
say,
these conditions because they are
You
poor?
know very well...
Would you let your grandmother live in public housing?
You know very well...
Would you let your
my
grandmother
view
live in
on
public
this.
housing, yes or no?
You know very well...
Under your watch and at your helm, would you allow your grandmother to live in public housing under these conditions?
It would be very nice if you would stop...
You've stated
The gentleman from Florida, Mr. Lawson, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Do you know?
I mean, dude is he's just a sorry lame, yo. He's really a sorry ass lame, for real. You know what I'm saying? He's clearly, and this is why we're calling him a sellout, because if you read his book, he says that he grew up in poor housing and all the stuff like that. So for him to get this job, right, to take this position, even though it's not in his field, but still, he should still be able to empathize with the people. He should still be able to relate. He should still be able to understand the plight of the people, because he came from that condition. But this sorry-ass house Negro is doing the bidding of the Trump administration, and as you heard, cutting these programs that help poor people like he used to be. So now he's become, he's become a sellout Negro. He's become a house Negro who seems to pretend like he forgot where he came from. And instead of trying to help the people who are in the condition that he once was, he's going along with cutting the programs that would help them, understanding fully well that he had come from that condition. So this is why, we are calling him, Dr. COONson, a sellout, a house Negro, because it's obvious what he's doing. It's obvious what he's doing. Dr. Ben, you lost, your legacy is gone, bro. There was one time when many of us in the black community, including myself, were inspired by you because of your notability as a neurosurgeon, as a gifted neurosurgeon at that. But now you've allowed yourself to be used. You've become the coon. You've become the sellout. You've become the Uncle Tom Negro. Or rather, you become the Sambo, right? Because they say the original Uncle Tom was actually trying to help black people. Okay. So you become the Sambo, the traitor, the sellout, the house Negro. And like Malcolm X used to say, like Malcolm X said, they really called him the house nigger. The Oreos. Yeah, you become the Oreo. That's you. Funny, interesting, right? That you after your little mix up with the REM, or excuse me, REO, thinking that she said Oreo, stupid ass. That you thought it was funny to take a picture with a pack of Oreos. How ironic, though. How ironic is that? How ironic is that you holding up the Oreos and you are a goddamn Oreo yourself. You lost all respect in the black community, bro. You lost all respect. Your ghetto, your ghetto pass, as they say, has been revoked. You're a lame, Dr. Ben. You're a lame. You should have stayed in your lane. And unfortunately, like I said, you're gonna go down in history as a sorry lame ass sellout, house Negro. That's what you're gonna go down in history as. And it's a shame, man. It's a shame that you're a smart man. At least we thought you were smart. But I've met people like that who are geniuses in one particular field. Maybe they're a genius at math, or in his case, a genius at neurology. But in other areas of life, man, they are completely fools. They are completely incompetent. No common sense whatsoever. That seems to be your case. You excelled in the field of neurology. However, when it comes to these other fields in life, you seem out of place, bro. You seem weak. You look weak. You carry yourself like a lame. I mean, bro, wow. I mean, that's what else could I say? Like I said, everybody, this was just going to be a short video where we talk about the incompetent Dr. Ben COONson and his performance. And this ain't the only time. This ain't the first one. There's been other times where he just seemed to like not have a damn clue what the hell he's talking about. A clue what he's doing in being the director of HUD. You know what I mean? You need to step down. And I see there's a hashtag. There's a hashtag going around too, calling for his resignation. Yeah, you need to resign, Dr. Ben. You don't know what the hell you're doing in as the director of HUD, man. You don't know what you're doing. Not only do you not know what you're doing, but you're selling out the people who are in the condition that you once were in. You should be able to empathize with them. You should be able to understand their plight and be trying to help them, knowing that you came from those conditions. But instead, no, you want to be the bougie Negro, the bougie sellout Uncle Tom ass, Sambo ass, coon ass Negro. Your legacy is done, bro. I'm not telling my kids about you. I'm not telling my kids to look up to you. If I do tell my kids about you, it'll be to let them see never be that kind of Negro. Never. Don't be a Negro at all. Don't be Don't be a Ben Carson. Don't be a Dr. Ben COONson. That's the only way I'm gonna tell my kids about you. They will not be. Your legacy is done, and I'm sure other black people will follow suit. You're just an embarrassment. Complete embarrassment, sir. Step down, do the right thing, and step down and resign, and save what's left of your character. Just step down and resign from this position because you clearly don't know what the hell you're doing. Sell out ass coon. All right, everybody, that ends it right there. Just a short video to talk about it. We'll end it right there. You guys have a good night, and I'll see you on the next. Oh, by the way, if you like to support our platform and help us expand, please utilize the link in the description of this video where you can make a donation to our PayPal. All right, we're out. Take care. Black Independent.